Ari Lewis Show.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Ari Lewis Show here on Israel Sports News Radio. Thank you for joining us. At any time, you can email the program, arilewishow@hotmail.com, or you can email the station, Israel Sports News Radio @gmail.com. Super Bowl 50 is going to begin this Sunday night, well, in America, Monday morning if you're in Israel. Will this be Peyton Manning's last game? Will he be blown out? A lot of questions to answer and discuss on the line right now. Back to the program, the Sports Rabbi, Josh Halickman. Sports Rabbi, welcome back to the show.
How you doing there, Ari?
Doing great. So a pretty interesting game because, I just brought up Peyton Manning twice, but his team is not the favorites. Carolina Panthers, 15-1. The one game they lost was only by 7 points. They are a real dominant team, but they seem to be a bit of the backstory to Peyton Manning. Why is that?
Hey, listen, Peyton Manning is an icon. He is, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. The fact that he has another chance to pick up a second ring is actually pretty huge if you think about it. The fact that just a few years ago his team was blown out by Seattle in the Super Bowl that took place in New York, everybody thought, well, that's going to be the end of Peyton Manning, and he's done with, and he's never going to have a chance to win another Super Bowl, because we know how hard it is to get to the Super Bowl unless you're let's say the Patriots. For some reason, they seem to have the magic touch to get back in very often. But the fact that he had another chance to earn a second ring, he will only equal his brother Eli, who is younger and has played for one team. I think, Ari, if he wins, he'll be the only quarterback to do what, Ari?
To have his last. No, I don't know. That's a good question.
He's going to be the first quarterback to ever quarterback two different teams to Super Bowl titles.
Yeah, that's right. That'd be pretty significant.
That's an absolutely amazing statistic. I mean, it's just that is something that, can you imagine? In 49 Super Bowls, there's never been one single quarterback that has quarterbacked two different teams. Joe Montana didn't do it. The greats, there are quarterbacks that have won more than one Super Bowl, that's for sure. From Tom Brady to Terry Bradshaw to a number of other people. But the fact is that that's pretty amazing in itself, and that's basically why Peyton Manning is he's king this week, and Cam Newton's going to be coming in there as the sentimental underdog, that's for sure.
All right.
No question. All right.
Yeah, so hypothetically, let's say Peyton Manning, he does not win. I want to know his legacy because he's got all the regular season records, but when you talk about only one Super Bowl win, that's the same as Brad Johnson, Doug Williams, Mark Brunell, I think. It's a bunch of people that only won one Super Bowl. So where's his legacy all time?
His legacy will still be one of the greatest ever. He'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's going to be no question. Peyton Manning will totally rank up there. But the fact is that we can see how badly he wants that second Super Bowl ring. All right, there's no question. This man is on a mission. Chances are that he wins, he'll retire. I cannot see him not wanting to write the storybook ending. And now he has the second chance to do that, Ari. If he would have won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, pretty much, chances are he would have sailed off into the sunset. I don't think he would have played again, considering his neck issues, this, that, whatever else. He's not the same Peyton Manning that we've once seen. He was replaced this year. There's no question he is an iconic figure, and he will be one of the greatest. He'll go down as one of the greatest ever. If you think of great quarterbacks, how many Super Bowls has Terry Bradshaw won?
Bradshaw won 4.
Now, is he considered today as one of the greatest quarterbacks ever in the mainstream media? I'm talking about.
No, you're right. No, he's not up there.
What do people think about when they hear the name Terry Bradshaw? First thing comes to mind, TV analyst. That's what it is.
He had a terrible touchdown to interception ratio. It was almost even. And there's also Brett Favre only won 1. So there is that point, but just kind of wanted to bring that out there because it'd be interesting if he loses. The guy across the way has many Super Bowl rings, that'd be Cam Newton as Peyton Manning.
Yeah, there's no question. And Cam Newton, I think he has been a professional all year. He has been a great quarterback. It is so hard to come into the league Ari and take a team by the horns as a rookie quarterback and be so good. We've seen so many people fail at that. What was the other quarterback that came into the same class with Peyton Manning?
Well,
was it Ryan
Leaf was number 2, yeah.
I mean, need we say anything more about Ryan Leaf? It's really an amazing thing if you think about it. That Cam Newton has basically turned this franchise into a juggernaut, into a very successful team in a great state, in a great city, and he has been the leader of this club. And he is not the typical quarterback, obviously, that we've seen in the past, more of the likes of the Randall Cunninghams of the past, the Michael Vicks of the past. But he's just a phenomenal specimen and a great player and a great leader. I think he's shown a lot of leadership skills this year. He doesn't get into trouble. He keeps himself clean. He's learned from the best. And I think it's going to be a great game Sunday. I think it's going to be an absolutely great game. And I think we're all hoping that Peyton Manning wins it for the sentimental favorite. But would it surprise me if Cam Newton picks up his first ring? Absolutely not.
Yeah, well, they're the favorites going in. Quick note, by the way, my producer just handed this. I said Mark Brunell. I meant to say Mark Ripken. The 92 Redskins won a Super Bowl. Correction there. Slip of the tongue. Okay. Apologize, folks. Again, we're being joined by the Sports Rabbi Josh Halickman, talking about Super Bowl 50. Let's go back talking about Cam Newton. Very interesting beginning because he was originally behind Tim Tebow in college. He had a transfer and won the Heisman at Auburn, but really only played 1 year, one actual year. How fascinating is that?
It's absolutely amazing. I mean, the fact that also that he can be a Heisman winner that has won the Super Bowl. I believe he also won the high school championship, I believe. He will be, I think, the first quarterback that will ever be able to have that trio of championships. That in itself is, again, amazing. How many Heisman Trophy winners won the Super Bowl?
Right. Usually they say it's the Heisman curse. I mean, Peyton never won a Heisman. Brady certainly didn't. Montana didn't. So most of those elite quarterbacks don't win a Heisman Trophy. Now, being a Cardinals
Tommy Fraser did, though.
Yeah, Tom Frazier did. Charlie Ward, a couple of other people that didn't really make it in the NFL. Now, of course, Charlie Ward, pretty good basketball player. Now, as a Cardinals fan, I was obviously devastated what happened a couple weeks ago, and this may disappoint some people or may not, after the first quarter, I was done. I turned off the computer, went to sleep because I knew the game was over. Carolina scares me. I mean, it scared me back then. They are a scary team. So if people out there, they want Peyton Manning to win, what can the Broncos do to beat this juggernaut team known as the Carolina Panthers?
Very simple. They're going to have to do what they've done all year, which is rely on the defense and not on the quarterback. I think Peyton Manning has to just do what he has to do. I think they're going to run very simple plays. I don't think there's going to be anything too exciting or too out of the ordinary. Kubiak's going to run, I think, a phenomenal game, and he's going to rely on the defense like they've done game in and game out this season. And they were smart. They saw and they knew, and that day is one John Elway, who, of course, capped his career off with a couple of Super Bowl wins with the Denver Broncos himself. He saw that he had to upgrade the defense. What did he go do over the last couple of years? He went and upgraded the defense. Now, that's the bottom line. You sit there and upgrade the defense, you know that you're going to be able to have your pass rush. You know you're going to have your corners. You know you're going to have your safeties. You know that you're going to be very good if the opposition tries to throw long passes. And you know if you're going to be very good on the pass rush, you know that you have the tools to be able to go ahead and make it into a championship team, and that's what they're going to try to do.
So if you're a Broncos fan listening to this, you could get, I guess, some hope, some solace that their defense really took apart the Patriots' offense. It kind of had that fluke touchdown, really had nothing, basically only gave up one touchdown if you look at it, then one at the end, and if you don't count the fumble. So is that your thinking, if they were able to keep the Patriots' offense at bay, they could do the same for the Panthers?
That's for sure. I mean, the Patriots have obviously a potent offense led by, let's call him the greatest quarterback of our generation. Better than Peyton Manning, and Peyton Manning knows that. As many times as they played each other, forget about who's won or who's lost. At the end of the day, we know you can have every record in the book, and you can still go down as a first ballot Hall of Famer. you still need those rings. And Tom Brady has those rings, and Tom Brady has been so consistently good game in and game out. Of what the Denver Broncos were able to do was just absolutely something out of football textbook. They absolutely dominated. They knew exactly what they had to do. They went out there and they won the game. And it's just been a matter of amazing coaching on their side. And you know what they say, Ari? When they used to have the Super Bowl with only a 1-week break, usually the team with the better talent wins. In today's day and age, when there's a 2-week break, what do they say? It's the team with the better coach that ends up winning. And I think that the Denver Broncos has the better coaching staff here. As much as I think Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers are great, I think hands down that Denver has the better coaching staff. And that's nothing to take away from Ron Rivera and nothing to take away from the Carolina Panthers coaching staff. But I think that that's a very, very big key to a Super Bowl, especially when there's 2 weeks off. These coaches have already sat down. They know exactly how they're going to play. And it comes down to not only the coaching plan, but do you have the players that are going to be able to execute those plans? And I believe they do.
Very interesting point about the difference between a 1-week break and a 2-week break. It used to be back in the day, they would rotate. Now it's 2 weeks automatically, so the coaching certainly makes a difference. Again, this is the Ari Lewis Show on Israel Sports News Radio, joined by the Sports Rabbi Josh Halickman, breaking down Super Bowl 50. So let's talk about the aspect of X factors. Obviously, key to any game, in particular Super Bowl. Who would be your X factors for each ball club?
I think that the X factors are going to be as follows. Again, we've talked about the defense. We've talked about the offense for Denver. But I still believe that Peyton Manning, as much as we said that they can't rely on him, he is going to be that X factor. I think that his will to win this and go out on top is just so big and so great. He wants to win this game so badly and go out on top. There's no question. And we all know 99% he's not going to come back next year. I think that he's the X factor because he hasn't been the Peyton Manning of what we've seen. And the fact that if he can go in and do that, he's done exactly what he set out to do, win that second Super Bowl and go ahead. You look at John Elway. There was a great picture, an unbelievable picture that I saw actually just yesterday in Sports Illustrated. You see John Elway going in for a touchdown, diving in, right? I think it was the second. Not his final Super Bowl win, but the one before.
Yeah, he runs. It was like a 3rd and 10, and he ran, and he got flipped in the air by 3 guys. I think you mean that play.
Ari, you see that picture. He's like, vertical. I mean, he's like every which direction, and he just looks like he's, all over the place, waiting to collect that ring. He was going to get into that end zone at any cost. And I think that you're going to see Peyton Manning playing at any cost. Will he play smart? Yes. Will they give them a good, are they going to have a good plan and they're not going to try to make him do things that he shouldn't be doing? Yes. I think those are all things that are going to happen. I think the coaching staff is going to do the job, but I think that Peyton Manning's will to win is going to be what's going to decide this game. I think that is really the X factor. And that I don't know if Carolina has the same X factor. And that's not to take anything away from Cam Newton not wanting to win himself. I just don't know if they have that same X factor.
And, by the way, going back to the Elway play, Super Bowl 32, they were heavily the underdogs against the Packers. Packers had Favre and that great regular season record. So
that's right.
Kind of a similar story. And I remember when he made that play, everyone watching thought the Broncos are going to win. Dick Enberg said, and you're telling me this 37-year-old man doesn't want to win this game? And there was just this feeling that's what turned everything around. So that aspect, I'll kind of throw this out there.
Ari, he is a competitor. And he is not a young competitor, but if you're a competitor, and there are plenty of competitors out there, but he is a competitor that knows that he is nearing the end. He will do everything that he can do within the guidelines to win that game. And the guidelines meaning the coaching plans.
Would we see Peyton Manning risk a little more physically, because he's not going to play again? Maybe do we see Peyton Manning run a little more? He ran a little bit in the AFC title game, so will we see any more running for Peyton Manning?
I think that, if the opportunity is there, I think that he'll take it. I don't think it will be in the game plan. I think that would be I don't think that they're going to call. He's not going to call his own number.
Right.
I believe that if there is going to be a spark of light in the darkness and he can't hand off the ball, he doesn't have an open pass, he sees that he can run, he is going to run. That man is going to do everything that he can do to help his team win this game. And at this point, whatever damage he's going to do to his body, he'll just have to sit there and, fix it up at the end of the season.
All right, now the Panthers, even though most people want the Broncos to win, the Panthers are 6-point favorites to win as of now, approximately. If they do win, they'll only end up with one loss. There's only been one team in NFL history, as we all know, to go undefeated. So where will the Panthers rank among the all-time great NFL teams?
They're going to rank up there, but they will not have the same drive or the publicity that they're going to get if they only had one loss. It's just not going to be the same. It may take 10 or 15 years for people to really understand what they did. I don't think that right away the Miami Dolphins and the NFL fans knew what they accomplished was going to be so great. I think that the football experts will say, okay, this is amazing, and this is an amazing accomplishment, and it was a terrific, fantastic, all those things. I think the common person is just not going to connect to it. If they would have gone undefeated, they would have connected to it because it would have been a very big backstory. But because they have that one loss, it will only be late. The history books will only say much later that they were one of the greatest single season games.
It was also interesting, they weren't ranked so high at the beginning of the year as far as NFL power rankings or being the favorites. Even before the playoffs started, they were ranked third. So they even though they were dominant, they didn't have the aura of dominance like some of the previous teams of the past. So we talked about X factors and the stars. Any particular surprises that maybe wouldn't surprise you? If there's a safety as the first points of the game that's happened a couple times in a row, are you looking for anything weird to happen on Super Bowl Sunday?
No, I really don't think so. I think it's going to be a pretty much straight and dry game. I think you're going to see efforts from both teams. I don't think there's going to be any type of crazy plays, craziness. I think that the big backstory will be Peyton Manning, and again, I don't think that they will purposely call a play for him unless it really, at the time of the moment, A, warrants it, or B, that he sees that he has that opening, and he'll just take it if he has to. I think it will be a massive surprise if he does anything, if there's a play called specifically for him, but stranger things have happened, Ari.
Yeah, for sure. And there was some lucky Jewish Yeshiva University student, I think, that made $50,000 one year and then $25,000 on a bet with regard to a prop bet with safeties, whatever. People are in all kinds of stuff into the Super Bowl. I'm just in mostly for the game, but those things are kind of fun. All right, so the moment of truth is here. We broke it down the game, and clearly Carolina is the favorite, and they have more athleticism, and they're younger. They have a lot of good stuff. Peyton Manning, talk about the hunger, the desire. Broncos are 6-point underdogs, but let's get your prediction. Who's winning on Sunday, and what's your score?
My guess is going to be the Broncos. I'm going to go with the Sentinel as the favorite, and I think that they're going to win by a larger margin than we think. I think somewhere along the lines of like 30 to 18.
Wow. So you think they win pretty big?
I think that it's going to be a little bit bigger than we thought. I think it's going to be a little bit under 2 touchdown spread. I just think that they're going to just have the juice. I don't know what else to say. I just think that they're going to have the juice to want to win this game, and they're going to draw. The defense is going to play just huge football, and I think that the Carolina Panthers won't know what hit them. That's what the Sports Rabbi thinks.
All right, well, that's certainly what America wants. It'll be very intriguing nonetheless. And before we let you go, tell everyone out there where people can find out more about you and about your work.
First, check out sportsrabbi.com. It's covering all Israeli sports, football, soccer, basketball, the works, all the sports that are here in Israel. Check me out on Twitter, @TheSportsRabbi, sportsrabbi.com, @TheSportsRabbi on Twitter. And Ari, thanks for having me on today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, always fun talking sports, especially Super Bowl Sunday, kind of the Yom Kippur of the sports world. What can I say? It is what it is. All right, Sports Rabbi, be well, enjoy the game. We'll be in touch.
We'll speak to you later. All right, take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.